Good morning. It's Monday, the 29th of January. It's the start of the New Year week. There is so much going on right now, if you can see what's really happening. My first story is about the complete collapse of the banking system that I have predicted, told you about for 5 years. And there's some people say, well, it didn't happen, Charlie, it didn't happen. As I've said before, I'd rather be 5 years early than one day late. What happened over the last 6 months is some major banks have been shorting silver. And for those who don't understand shorting, do a little bit of research. It's about gambling on the odds of of winning when somebody's losing. And silver, they've always controlled themselves, so they knew they could guarantee the win. That's not happening. Silver has gone through the roof and will continue to do so. This is Monday morning. We've had 5 days of bank holidays. We had Christmas Day, we had Boxing Day. We had Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, Saturday and Sunday. Trump actually did speak about 5 days. So as the banks open today, there's going to be a huge revelation as to what really happened. The shorting has cost these banks billions and billions of dollars. And today, they have to find that money. And of course, they don't have it. Now, I know that JP Morgan and a number of the other big banks have already asked the Federal Reserve for money to bail them out. The question is, will they? Can they or not? Only time will tell. But my feeling is that today, the 29th of January, could be a very, very important day. Drew, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. Well, off the back of that, Charlie, talking about the collapse, it's not. Everyone's talking about the housing market collapse, but the real issue isn't quite. But the real issue is why it's happening. London's tech property boom is quietly unraveling, and Amazon was a trigger. Then came Meta, Google, Microsoft. In under 6 months, also 40,000 jobs, tech jobs, are gone. Those jobs held entire areas up. When they disappear, demand for flats and offices go with them. So places like Shoreditch, King's Cross, Canary Wharf, prices are slipping, rentals empty, places are just sitting there. And this doesn't stop at housing. Those 40,000 tech workers had mortgages, rents, and spending power. They were propping up the market. Take them out, and the impact ripples through everything: housing, local businesses, and the wider UK economy.
It's very interesting that because I've been studying this very carefully. The UK market, housing market, is in complete collapse in many areas. And yet the media is refusing to comment on it, which suggests that they may well be complicit because they're all part of the agenda. But there's an old saying that I grew up with, and it's relevant in the Bible to David and Goliath. The bigger you are, the bigger you fall. The banking system used to have a saying, it's too big to fail. Well, we're learning very, very quickly that that statement is not true because there's only so much you can do. And we're about to see a complete collapse of the old system. And while they're collapsing, they're pretending that everything is fine. And because they've got money, they've got control of the media. When you've got control of the media, you can put out your story. But the reality is what I'm alluding to here. I live in the real world and I know what's going on. And if you turn on your common sense antenna, you'll see through it as well. It's very, very important that you're aware of what's going on. My second story is the interesting shift that's happening in South America. We're seeing South America, what happened over the weekend, Bolivia, the first time in history where they have stepped back from the US and signed an agreement with China and Russia. And that has really, really annoyed America. But just remember one thing, when you see all this threats and aggression, whether it's them or whether it's Venezuela, whatever it is, it's all part of the pantomime. Everything has been done. So don't live in fear. This is just showing you what's already happened. We're in a good place, but it's going to look like we're heading towards hell. That's what it will look like. It'll look like everything is going wrong. But don't worry. Not everything you see is what you think you're seeing. And not everything you hear is accurate. And it's become very clear in the last 5 days. Quite a number of people who've got a high presence on YouTube and on social media are not what we thought they were. They're plants to distract. Be very careful. Make sure that you have your own link with God so that you can establish the truth, because that's the only place you'll find the truth. True.
Well, next up, Charlie, I wanted to. Where is it? Sorry, one sec. Not letting me share. Share screen. Here we go. Next up, Charlie, I wanted to go back to speaking about silver. We're obviously looking at the trends. Silver moon rocketed around here. Gold did exactly the same. And going on to XR prediction, we are now awaiting for it to go to the moon. Exactly the same as gold and silver. Now, Binance, 1 minute. Now, Binance recently reminded us that XRP was predicted in The Simpsons to hit 589 by year end. Sorry, 1 second. I'll get there, 1 second. Oh, where is it? I'll share it this way. Oh, here we go.
Officials did practice activation this morning in Times Square to make sure everything's going to be.
Here we go. I can edit this, so I'm not bothered. And also what I find interesting is the numerals that have arrived in Times Square. This beautiful, beautiful 2026 has 589 bulbs in it. So I'm reckoning if this will happen by the end of the year, but we shall see. You know, we see the signs, we put a story together, and let's see what happens. But it's exciting.
From my own personal point of view, I've had my money in gold and silver now. Can you not?
Did I do something? 1 minute.
You must have done something.
Let me make sure.
I can hear you clicking, chicken.
What happened?
No
Oh, one
idea.
minute. It's me. Sorry, I turned the
I
volume
know it's you.
down. Sorry, I just realised. Go on.
I can hear you clicking, chicken.
Sorry. Go on.
Well, from my own personal point of view, I put my money into gold and silver 5 years ago. We took it all out of the bank. My wife was a bit nervous to start with, but we put it into gold. And it was all in gold to start with. And now we have more than doubled our wealth in 4.5 years. And it was going back about a year ago that somebody said to me, put a chunk of it in silver. And we put a chunk of it in silver. And of course, we wake up every morning to the numbers going higher and higher and higher. When it comes to XRP, for me personally, it's not an area that I know that much about, but I do know that 5 years ago, I'd never even heard of XRP. And somebody said to me, Charlie, put something into XRP, make sure you've got 500 XRP and you'll be set up for the rest of your life. That it won't be today, it won't be tomorrow, it'll be years down the line. Don't touch it, just leave it. Since that conversation, I've had another conversation with the people who know what's going on, who said to me, Charlie, you will never, ever need to touch your XRP. You'll never need to sell it. You'll be able to use it for leverage. So that if you want something in the future, a house, a car, you use that as your security. And I went, wow, that's not something I'd even thought about. But I will keep you well informed as to what you should and shouldn't do, because be very, very careful right now. There are a lot of people on these platforms claiming to be gurus, claiming to know what they're talking about, and they don't, quite clearly, because I've been privileged to get an insight as to what's really going on. What's really going on, and some of the stories that are out there are not compatible. We will keep you informed. We'll do the best we can. But the most important thing is create your own personal link with God. And the information that you take it within, and ask God to give you clarity, to give you guidance, especially over this period. Watch out for the fraudsters, watch out for the scammers, and have a wonderful, wonderful New Year's week. That was the news on the 29th of January, 2025. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye bye.